Hello everybody, this is Kathy Farley from the White County Public Library, and today I'm here in our interview series with someone that you all know, Miss Sarah Bannister. Sarah Bannister, I can't even remember when I met you. It feels like I've always known you. I know, it's crazy, isn't it? So why don't we start by having you tell us about yourself?
All right, I've lived here all my life, except for maybe 1 year, and I taught middle school, all middle school, for 40 years.
Oh my goodness.
And
wow.
So I've taught, if not all, of people in White County, and
That's a pretty good start right there. Now, I would like to point out that you were never my teacher. Now,
No.
I was at the middle school when you were there,
Right.
but you were spared the suffering of having me as a student. Thank goodness. One of the students you were actually spared is me. Did you always want to teach?
yes, as far as I can remember. Of course, when I was growing up, for women, that was about all. You could either teach or I'd be a doctor or a nurse, but I didn't want to deal with the science and math on that. So
I don't blame you, either the medical or the education fields.
yeah, and I had some great teachers that inspired me too. So.
Anybody that you remember in particular, or?
Yes. My senior year was the first year that they had an advanced class in English, and Ann Hill taught that class.
Now, I had Ann Hill, but I had Ann Hill for PE. That's a different time frame, I suppose. But yeah, she was.
Yeah.
She was a great teacher. I can see that. I can see she being a real inspiration. Have you met a lot of people, I'm sure, along the way? Do some of your former students still recognize you?
Oh yeah, always.
Do you recognize them?
No.
Well, I imagine we all look a little different than we looked in middle school. So if you see Miss Bannister out and you walk up to her and say, "Hi, Miss Bannister," you should probably introduce yourself, okay? That would help her a lot, probably. But they all do still speak.
Oh, yeah. Well, sometimes I'll remember a face and not a name, or vice versa. I remember a name, not a face. So, but once they tell me their name, I usually remember.
Well, and I'm sure there's some of them that are quite hard to forget.
That's true.
And I think all the teachers would probably identify with that. I know that the librarian would identify with that too.
That is true.
Did you meet anybody interesting along the way? Anybody that you worked with that made the job a little easier? Anybody like that?
Well, I think everybody I worked with made it a little easier, because we worked as a team, as a family. We'd help each other, and of course now a lot of the teachers I had as students, so
They knew you.
they knew me, and
Knew what to expect from you, and that
right.
she was no nonsense. In case you didn't know that, she was an English teacher the old school way. So
Yeah.
now, being an English teacher, you taught reading.
Right.
Too. What was your favorite book to teach?
Oh, to teach.
To teach, not to read, but to teach.
There were so many.
Mm-hmm.
Fahrenheit 451, I think.
Ooh, a very timely one too.
I think.
I don't think that one ever goes out of style. If you've not read that one, you need to pick that up. And the author on that is Ray Bradbury.
Ray Bad. Yeah.
So I was trying to stump her, but it never works. You can never stump an English teacher. What about to read? What's some of your favorite?
You know, I read every and anything.
She does. The gorier the better. She loves them. They're like that. But do you have any favorites? Or any recent favorites?
Recent favorite.
I know, I helped you pull it off the shelf.
Yes, you did.
McBride is the last name?
McBride.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And I can't remember, Lord Bird
Yes.
was the title.
Yes.
Yes, and that, is it good?
It's good. It's sort of hard to get through because he bases his novels on actual people and
Okay.
things that happened actually. And as you go through it, you're wondering, well, this may have happened, but I doubt it.
This doesn't feel real.
Yeah.
And that one's about the raid at Harper's Ferry, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, I thought I had read the back of the, but I have not gotten around to reading that one, so that'll be on my list. Now, I know you had a life outside the classroom because that's how I knew you better, was outside the classroom, because you weren't my teacher. But so what did you like to do outside the classroom?
Of course, read and reading rather. And when we were at the middle school, uh, Carol Lee and I think uh, Samantha Hetty, they got me started in a Renaissance club. And of course, it was a lot of work.
But a lot of fun.
A lot of fun, found talents for kids they didn't even realize they had a talent. And it was a good thing.
I'm sure. And that's something that being a teacher does. You get to see these kids in the classroom, but then you see them in the Renaissance fair. You see them on the ball court. You see them in other situations, and you realize, look at them. And sometimes they're a whole lot different in those situations than they are in the classroom. That would be one of the rewarding things, I think, about doing it. Now, I know Miss Bannister because she was actually on the library board that hired me. She's been on the library board we'll just say a lot of years. Because I worked here for a couple weeks, in case you didn't know that. We're just gonna say just a couple. Is that okay? We'll just leave it there. Actually, October will make 23 years for me. This job. And she wasn't new to the library board then. But if you ever have thought, wow, they could have done better, it's her fault. So remember that. Oh, is there anything else that you thought you'd like to tell us? Now, tell us a little bit about your grandchildren.
Oh
Yes.
Oh yes.
Of course.
I had one girl, ended up with 3 grandchildren, boys, and I had no idea what to do with them when they first got here, because boys never sit still.
They're very different.
And so anyway, they're wonderful. They all have different personalities. My oldest grandson is a sophomore, maybe possibly a junior when all this mess is over, at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. He got an academic scholarship, praise the Lord.
Yes.
And the other 2, one is in middle school. He'll be in his 2nd year of middle school. And then the youngest will be in the 4th grade, I believe.
Okay. And that is Nicholas,
Aiden, and Grayson.
Okay. Wonderful. And your daughter lives
In Murfreesboro.
So that's far enough that you know when they're coming.
Well, sometimes.
Sometimes, okay.
Sometimes.
The surprise visits from the grandchildren are not always a good thing. Y'all remember that? No. I know you love to see when they come. Anything else? Well, I would like to say thank you for your service to this community, to this library. She's active in her church, in case you didn't know that. She does a lot of stuff in the cemetery committee for the cemetery. She does a lot of things. She's responsible for a lot of good things that happen in your community. She's one of those quiet workers that you never know is involved in these things until you get a little deeper. And we are grateful for your involvement here at the library. And I hope other people tell you that they're grateful for you too. We hope you tune back in next time. Thanks.